who are the 17%? Who are they? Who the hell are the 17%? Anybody in here from the 17%? Don't raise your hand, it may be dangerous. You guys know what this represents?
What all is
Maybe it's the calm before the storm.
Get comfy, no, get ready for war. They started it all, but now it's time to settle the score. New recruits, join us where the veterans are. Lace your boots, prepare to earn medals and stars. Information warfare, they want control of your mind. They dumb you down, it's easy to take control of the blind. Question the narrative, you never know where you'll find. We can always see the evil cause we know it's design. The old guard's collapsing, we're here to watch it happen. Enough of the build-up, we're ready for the action. The part of the movie where we understand the acting as we look around the room at each other's reactions. Horrifying evil rising up to the surface. Demons in the ether realizing that they're worthless. NPCs walk amongst us without a purpose. They know the time's up and see that it wasn't worth it. Brainstorm family, holding it down. They control the narrative, but we're controlling it now. It's like 1984 when they're controlling the crowd. We break the matrix into pieces that we burn to the ground. Together we are the phoenix rising from the ashes, tearing down the system and laughing as it crashes. Brutalize the deep state and give them 50 lashes. Cause we are slaves and these people are our masters. We go to war for our families, do it for the kids. It shouldn't be this way, but that's just the way it is. We bring truth to y'all until there's nothing left to give. We give demons no authority to tell us how to live. This is our world and our job is taking it back. These are our girls and our boys are under attack. Social engineering, every step is a trap. We teach you how to navigate through every step of the map. Stormy J coming at you live, finding all the truth as they rummage through the lies. Patriots united while this evil's on the rise. Lift the veil on the system and see through the disguise. This is our time to shine. These are our minds combined. Society has declined. In the design, realize your mind has been attacked and been assigned to be a vessel of the indoctrination that you try. In the matrix, we're breaking utter devastation and destruction to every single move that they're making. The ground is shaking, breaking from the anticipation of the moment that we capture back the soul of the nation. Demonstration, bringing back the bases, manifestations ready for the revelation of this evil that we're facing. Agents of the matrix making power moves and races. Full arm of God, and we're coming for you, Satan.
All right, good evening, Brainstorm family. It's nice to see everyone this DNC Monday evening. Thank you for joining us. I think we have a good one for you guys tonight. We have a special guest that Jimmy ran into today. Is that right, Jimmy?
Yeah. Well, actually, I guess on Friday, and then we had a meeting today.
Friday?
Yeah, it's going to be a good show. So we're going to have Sam Anthony on. He is the creator of Your News. It's going to be the new mainstream. We're gonna take over the news. I mean, we've been saying that for I don't know how long, but this is the guy that's going to help us get there, and he's got one hell of a product to offer people. And without further ado, we can bring in Sam.
Absolutely.
double click.
Welcome, Sam.
How you doing,
nice
Sam?
to meet you, man.
Hey, man. Thanks for having me on. Great to be here. I'm excited about it.
Yeah, this is going to be a barn burner. I definitely can't wait to get more involved in this.
Good. Glad to hear it. And by the way, that was a hell of an intro that you guys have. Okay, with the music and the ghost dancing and all that stuff. Very cool. And I noticed you had a lot of people. Are there other Brainstorm people that are part of this? I mean, how many people
are mainly fan? Go ahead, Stormy.
We have several, especially in the Rumble chat. Honeybee's a big one. Kristen's a big one. You'll see Amy, TikTok Terry. Johnny might jump on the chat here for too long. Yeah, there's a whole crew behind Brainstorm, and we absolutely love every minute of it. Who you're seeing in chat are the ones you will see pretty much every night. It's nice to see you, Dave. Yeah, it's growing and it's getting fun for sure.
Cool. I should have put this on my own platform live. I didn't even think about that. I could have done it. Hey,
I'm sure we'll do it again.
Yes, definitely. So talk to me. What would you like to hear? I have all the answers.
Yeah.
Just kind of give them the rundown as far as like, I mean, you can keep it short or sweet or do it, as long as you want. Just do pretty much let them know the involvement in how to get involved if they want to become a journalist, and then also the way that you can actually invest in it. I think that's a big thing. I mean, a lot of people, even if just like you said, it's pretty easy to invest.
Yeah, and if anyone in the
help
chat has
further
questions,
our country.
if anyone in the chat has questions for Sam, feel free to throw them in. We'll ask.
Well, I think we should at least explain what we do here first, right?
Sure.
I mean, so
Sure.
because they're going to want to know this. So, and you know what? I mean, I had spoke to Jimmy a little bit earlier before you got on, Stormy, and I just want to. The media is the problem. Nobody's going to argue this, at least on this panel, right? I mean, so it's if they were telling the truth over the last 8 years, none of the stuff that happened would have existed, right? And I'm talking about things like the Hunter Biden laptop and the Russia collusion, and God knows what else. So the thing with James Comey and all that stuff that just happened. None of it would have existed if the media was telling the truth. But instead, they lied through their teeth. They fabricated stuff, and this is where we're at today. And the issue that we're facing is you have a small handful of people that control the mainstream media. And remember this, there's a lot of people like my neighbors who are in their 80s, who don't have Rumble. They have flip phones. They have been watching cable news for 60 years, and they don't know that any of this stuff exists. And they believe Trump is a Russian asset and, a narcissist and everything else that you could possibly imagine, simply because they're only as good as the information they have. And, the gentleman is a vet. He's a veteran. They fly the American flag. These are actually really good people. So I like to go over there with a bottle of wine and tell them the truth, and really just get them really depressed every now and then. They're like, where do you find this information out? I go, well, everybody else knows it in the community, but you guys. The issue is the media, and they're really the problem. And as I always tell people, there is a silver lining to the whole thing. They're all going out of business. What I just said is there's a 100% chance that they won't be around in the next 7 to 10 years. And it's not because they're lying, because even if they were telling the truth, remember this, even if they were telling the truth, the average age of the cable news viewer is 70 years old. What does the average person live to? Anybody have that answer?
80, maybe?
75.
I think it's 6, but you can look it up on the internet. 76, 70. I think men are 76, women are 78. Call it 80. It doesn't really matter. What my point is, nobody's following up behind. Okay? That's the issue. So if you want to know why they have all the pharmaceutical ads on the cable news, it's because it's their audience. But all that stuff's going away. It's not going to survive, and they're certainly not going to go into a digital format. Trust me. It's not going to happen. There'll be a pittance of what they used to be. What's going to take over is going to be a platform like mine, and it'll be an online daily. Now, I could assure you what it's going to be. It'll be a global media giant, but we won't even get into that for right now. But I have aspirations of global in the next probably 24 months, but we'll deal with, just the United States. It'll be a hyper-local news platform operating in every city in the United States with the ability to target ads by zip code. Okay. It'll have so think of it as the local daily newspaper, because remember this, there's still a demand for news. It's just how people consume it has changed. Correct? Anybody argue that? And the local newspaper is the backbone of a free society. Without it, we're all screwed. It's what keeps all these politicians in checks. If there's, the police never catch the crimes. It's always the investigative journalist that uncovers it, that writes the story. The police read it in the paper and they go over and pick them up, right? That's how it works. So this is why the local paper is the backbone of a free society. You need it. So like I said, there's still a demand for news. It's how consumption has changed. So what we did was create a revenue model behind it with massive scale. So we're the local paper. Just think of me as the Chicago Tribune, the Miami Herald, the New York Times, in every city in the United States. When you log in, your provider will tell us where you live. It's called geolocation. Everybody, Facebook, Twitter, Amazon, Zillow, they all have it, right? So it geolocates you right down to the zip code. So now imagine you're just looking at a local newspaper with national scale on steroids. And we have a social component where the public can interact and they can share in the narrative and post their own news, views, opinions, and classifieds. Okay, now many people have read a paper, but not too many people have actually worked for a newsroom or in a newspaper business. But so I'll tell you how a news business works. Guys, you know how people that have news will send a press release to the media? So you know what I'm talking about. If you're a nonprofit and you're having some event, like a 5K run, you send a press release to the media in your market, which would be the radio, TV, and print. So what news organizations are is they're aggregators, and then they decide what they're going to air or publish. So what we are is an aggregator of the identical content. We just have the ability to print it all because there's no cost, and we can organize it by subject and geography. Meaning I could make a story like your kid's Little League game appear in the sports section in one city, while the high school football game is going to go to the sports section, but to the market, which is defined by television DMA. And then obviously the Monday Night Football game is national, right? So we're a news content distribution with massive scale. So because of our scale, nobody sends us an email. Everybody here anybody ever not posted something to Craigslist before? Any you guys ever post to Craigslist? You ever use it? You know how you have it? You know how you create an account and then you post? Okay, it works the same with us. People create an account and then they post. The content comes in our dashboard as pending review, and then once approved, they get email notification with a direct link to their story. And then what everybody does is they share it on social media, and that's what drives my audience. So last year I had 5.4 million people consume over 100 million articles. Wow. In addition, we have a monetization model like YouTube, where out-of-work news reporters can share in the ad revenue. So here's how that works. And by the way, nothing I'm telling you is new. All the platforms do it. It's just nobody does it. Yeah, but nobody does it wrapped around news. Okay, so that's all I did was just plug it into a news component. So we have a monetization model where somebody can write a story about the high school football game or the bank robbery or the car crash. We publish that content to the subject and geography it's relevant to. What they do is they share it on their social media pages to the people that follow them because they like their content. They click the link, which takes them to their content hosted on our site. We sell all the ads. They share in the ad revenue. Pretty freaking simple, isn't it, guys?
Yeah.
So that's how it works. And what we do, I'm just thinking, every news story on planet Earth is local somewhere, right? It doesn't matter if it's a bomb going off in, a city, it's still there. It starts. It just doesn't, it may make national news. So our goal would be to take all the content that flows out of the US, aggregate it under one umbrella, and create one uniform media. That's it. And by definition, whoever does that is the next Rupert Murdoch of the space. The interesting part of the whole thing is because the internet allows everybody to participate and everybody to become a news reporter, it levels the playing field. Okay, like you guys exist because of the internet, correct? Yep. Because absolutely. Fox or CNN or ABC didn't have enough space for you guys to be hired because there's literally millions of you. So anybody could be a podcaster, but the cream always rises to the top, right? You have some people that are lower level, some are mid-tier, and then you get the superstars like the Joe Rogans and the Tucker Carlsons who just become massive. So what our product does is it allows citizen journalists, somebody who's never been in the business before, to actually become a news reporter and write a story or do a video locally and share that on social media and make money off of their content. So we're actually providing jobs. I'm telling you right now, Elon Musk is spot on accurate. It will be citizen journalists that take over the media. People who are never in the business before because they're not tainted, right? That's my take on it. Anyway.
I see a question brewing. Brian, do you have a question? I feel like I saw a question brewing.
No, I was enjoying listening. I was just processing.
Oh, okay,
it's spot on.
Look like we're pondering the future.
Wait till I show you this. You're going to be blown away. Okay, and I won't do it for a long time because I think the conversation and the dialogue is great. But not only am I telling you what we're going, I mean, we actually do it. Okay, I have literally thousands of contributors all across the United States. And so what's really cool is watching the content come in. Okay. It's like, holy crap. I had some guy, we have just for your audience, if you think you could be a news reporter and you want to be monetized, at the bottom of our site, the domain is yournews.com. You would scroll down to the bottom of the page and it'll say, be a citizen journalist. You click the link, you fill out the application. We make sure you have to put it, by the way, you got to put in your social media links. We want to see if you're some kind of nut job or anything like that before we're going to allow this. And then from there, I had some guy fill it out on Saturday. I only know his first name is Andy. I saw it come in. I just remember Andy. And I remember he's in Buffalo, New York. And I showed you guys this. I don't know if Stormy, I don't think I showed you, but Jimmy, I showed you, right? Remember?
Yep.
So he went out to a rock concert in Buffalo and took photos and wrote a story about it. And the article was read by over 500 people in Buffalo in the entertainment section. Is that cool or what? That's what our product's all about.
Shows
So
you how local it can get.
Oh God, yeah. That was a market story. It was broader in scope, but it's the whole key to this thing is, as I tell people, there's only two ways to solve the problem, and one is through a violent revolution, and you really don't want that if you could avoid it. The second way is going to be through controlling information, and you want to control mass media. So like you guys are not mass media. You guys are a show and you have an audience that gravitates to you because they like your content, right? And Patriot TV, as much as I like, General Flynn and Mark Shafleen, they're getting out information that's vital along with, Lindell, with Mike Lindell, with Frank Speech and with Mike Adams from Brighteon. But that's not going to be the next mainstream media. What they are doing is something phenomenal to assist in getting information out. But the next mainstream media is going to be a product that's broad in scope. And what I mean by that is you can't go to Brighteon or Frank Speech or, Patriot TV and find out who won your kid's Little League game or the high school football game. You can't find out that they're looking for, precinct committeemen in York County, Pennsylvania, or that the president was just there. You can't go there and find out about the rooftop bar that just opened in Chicago or the museum that in New York that just closed after 80 years in New York, which is in our lifestyle section. My point is the content coming in, 99% has nothing to do with politics, but it drives eyeballs.
That's what we need.
Okay. That's mass media. So here's what I figure. There's 20,000 cities in the United States. Just like YouTube, there's a lot of people on YouTube that had their own channels that tried to make money with it and they just couldn't, right? So everybody's been on YouTube and seen somebody's channel that the last video post was 3 or 4 years ago. It's because they threw in the towel, right? It's going to be the same with us. You're going to have people that want to be news reporters, but the content they produce doesn't really attract an audience, they don't gravitate to it. Then you're going to have people that have never done this before. You're going to have a soccer mom or somebody that's politically active in the community that wants to become a news reporter, that goes to the school board meetings and the city council meetings and really is just a thorn in their ass, that all of a sudden now becomes a news reporter for your news that now starts putting out news stories. And they know everybody.
That, if I wanted to see it clear across the nation, I could utilize her techniques. She could become even more popular just based on if she's successful in sharing her past or what she's been successful on, right?
Oh, well, first of all, the story is only going to appear in a specific geography, right? Because, if she's reporting on the city council meeting in Schaumburg, Illinois, nobody gives a rat's ass outside of Schaumburg, right? Because that's all it is. So it's politics news for Schaumburg. But, I think one of the things we're going to have to do is have ways to teach people how to become better at this, I guess.
Yep.
I haven't even thought that through. I mean, that's like something that's something we need to get done in the future. Maybe there's some kind of tips thing in there that people can say, this is working for me. But really, at the end of the day, the cream's going to rise to the top. It always does,
Yep.
I mean, it's just the way it is. And so, you're going to have people that have never been in the news business. And I think I told you a story about a guy I know that was telling me we need to change the name of citizen journalists because we're not going to get any self-respecting journalists that come in. And, my response to him was, good, we don't want any of you because you guys were the problem. Okay. Anybody, and I mean anybody, could do a better job than you. Okay. Anybody. So I would rather have some guy off the street that can't write really eloquent. Okay. That can't speak really eloquent, that could actually tell you the truth. Wouldn't you guys?
Yeah.
I mean, that's my point.
Yeah,
At this stage of the game, anybody can do better than the lamestream media. Anybody.
absolutely.
So, but you're going to see a whole new breed of people come out, and look at what you guys do. Okay. So I don't know. I have a lot of podcasters on my network, and I don't know. There's some that are really big, right? That have gotten really popular. Of course, I don't know the names of them, but you guys may. So the cream rises to the top, and the bigger you get, the more money you make. It's just how it works. Now, the good news about a platform like mine is your content is going to be parked next to other people who have big audiences, like, Sean Turnbull from the SGT report, who gets 150,000 views a freaking episode. So he's going to be pushing his people to his content, but yours is right next to him. And they're going to go, who's this? And, Patriot Mike that just joined my network told me he got 150 new followers on Rumble from me this week.
That's awesome.
Well, it was last week. He said, I got all 150 new people. So it's just a place to
we know
market.
Patriot Mike. We've been on a podcast with Patriot Mike not too long
Yeah,
ago.
that's what Jimmy was telling me, that he knew him. Yeah, but that's what he told me. It was so he's just being exposed to a broader audience because I have a lot of podcasters in there. So I seem to be talking a lot. Anybody have any questions for me?
You're good at it. I mean,
yeah.
I guarantee you can still catch up to a one more white glove, catch a popsicle.
Well, when it comes to this business, I'm going to tell you guys something. I'm the expert in my field by default. Want to know why? There isn't anybody else. I'm the only person. If I'm not the expert, what's wrong with me? There's nobody to debate me because nobody does this. So I'm like,
I'm going to tell you what, I'm going to help you however I can. I promise you that, because this is, just like I told you earlier, I had some sort of a vision like this, but not this high level, but mine was for a different type of audience than everyday audience. It's for researchers and all that. So, but this is definitely dude, we're gonna kick their ass like beyond belief.
You already are. Collectively, all of you podcasters that are conservatives, outreach mainstream media. Here's what you need. You need a platform like a Facebook or like a Twitter, but for news, that is one big massive aggregator, aggregating all the content. Because remember, in any social site, and social by definition is public participation. Okay, so I have a submit your news button where people can participate. The magic formula is content equals readership, right? Mm-hmm. That's it. Once you've aggregated all the content, you get all the readers. For those of you who don't understand that, I'm sure everybody does. If somebody posts their kid's Little League game, I bet you $1 billion grandma and grandpa see that story because it's going on Facebook. Okay, that's just how it works.
That's what my site was, pretty much an aggregation site of all like the top type of stuff. And then,
but you need the user generated, right? You need the public participation, because once they're involved in submitting their own stuff, they're then sharing it out on social media, which they're doing all the work for you. But they have a vested interest because they're interested in being monetized and making money. Okay, that's how it works. So imagine having hundreds of thousands, if not millions of people contributing and driving traffic to their, you starting to see this? So what you guys need, I'm going to tell you what it's going to be. What's going to be the next mainstream media is it'll be global, like I said, but it'll be a hyper-local news network with a social component where the public can interact. It'll have a monetization model for people that do this for a living, and a self-service ad platform where people can buy their own ads and target it around the content of relevant. What I just said to you is going to happen. There's 100%, and everything I told you is already being done. There's websites where people could buy their own ads. Anybody ever see them? Facebook, Twitter, Google. Okay.
Heck,
There's websites out there where people get monetized. Anybody ever see them? I mean, I'm not doing anything new is what I'm trying to tell you. I just packaged it with news. That's it.
Yeah.
Nobody's done that.
Honeybee says she loves your face.
Oh,
She says, I like your face.
say hi, honey. How are you, honey? So now what I want to do is I'll show you guys to the audience. I'll show them how this works so you guys could see it. Is that cool? Right?
yeah, absolutely.
And by the way, I know Jimmy saw this, but I know you didn't see it, but I know Stormy didn't see it either. I don't think. On LinkedIn, I'm going to show you, if you want to see just how bad the industry is, in the news business, 2 weeks ago, a little less, 10 days ago, there was about 460,000 people on LinkedIn that called themselves freelance journalists. For those of you who don't know what freelance is, it means I don't have a job. Okay.
Yeah.
Most of them were part of the downsizing of the legacy media. Most of them. I would say probably 70 or 80% of them. Because some people are just freelance because they want to do it, but then there's a lot of people who lost their job. And there's a lot of people who lost their job that gave up because they don't even want to do it anymore. And they're working somewhere else. But I'm going to show you how many people on LinkedIn there are now. Here it is right here. So this is everybody see this LinkedIn Sales Navigator?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
I'm going to do a search, but the search is already preloaded. It says freelance journalist, US, United States. So I'm just going to click it. You'll see right here, the green is the US. Here's freelance journalist. Look to the right. You see that? Everybody?
Yeah,
It's
510K.
There's 510,000 people that are advertising for work as a freelancer. Most of these people, I would say 400,000, 350, 400,000 are part of the downsizing of the legacy media. That's how bad it is. And not for nothing, but I got to come back here. There's colleges and universities that are still teaching people how to do, journalism school, right? People are coming out of school, like this year, there'll be people coming out. Who's going to hire these people, guys? Seriously. I don't know how many students are going to come out of universities, next May, but I would venture to say it's got to be north of 20 or 50,000. Am I right?
I would think so.
Who's hiring?
Yeah.
Who's hiring these people? I'm going to tell you who. Virtually nobody. There's nobody hiring. This is why I'm saying these are probably going to be your next wave of journalists, because these kids understand the internet. They understand monetization. They know how it works. I talked to one kid that was at a university. He was in school, and he told me he had 20,000 followers on social media, and he was like 22 years old. I'm like, you got to be kidding me. So now I'm going to show you the platform just so you get it real quick. I think a picture is worth 1,000 words. And so does everybody see what I'm looking at?
No, not yet.
Oh, okay.
Now we do.
Okay, you see how it says Alexander, Arkansas? This is like the Little Rock market. You guys see this, right?
Mm-hmm.
So our website is a news website, okay? And this is all our front page, all national news. And if you wanted to see our national news, all these categories, entertainment, sports, it's like a newspaper, right? But here's what makes us unique. It's the freaking local news. This is the most important piece of the whole thing. So I just clicked on top stories, and this is Camden singer goes viral singing God Bless America. Okay, that's Camden, Arkansas. So this is a story that's the lead story in this market. They're having the county fair coming September 10th through the 14th. Here's the breakdown of the ballot measures and paid, canvassers in the state of Arkansas. So this is news, but just for this market. Governor declares emergency and severe thunderstorms in Northwest Arkansas. All of this is local news for this area. Whereas if I went to, I'm only going to do 3 of these, okay? But there's 210 markets, just FYI.
And yours in your zip code, right?
I entered a zip code to go to Sioux Falls, and this is early morning assault leaves 2 injured. Okay, now this is a story we didn't see before because you guys saw this market, right?
Yeah.
Another one, South Dakota flood victims can file for FEMA assistance. Yanked public invited to hear results on library study. So this is all news that came in since you and me talked 2 hours ago. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So market, what does this say? Market of first Ponca tribal community unveiled. This is all new. Everything since we talked, all this content comes in, but it comes in from local news reporters in this market. The last place I'm going to send you is going to be in Chicago. It's just a bigger area, so we get a lot more content here. And I'm going to do top stories here, and you're going to notice that this is all Chicago news. Aurora Mayor Richmond announced bid for third term, and search for missing teens suspended due to dangerous conditions at Chicago's Rainbow. My point is, all of this is local news for the city of Chicago. Now, the interesting part of the platform is I'm going to go to entertainment news. All the content you see here, guys, this is all people posting. You see this button at the top of the page that says submit your news? The way it works is if you have a news story you want to share with the community, you click the submit news button, you create an account, and you post. The content comes in our dashboard as pending review. And then once approved, they get email notification with a direct link to their story. So I'm showing you this because all of this is local news for the city of Chicago. And it's people posting it. So now I went to the food and wine section, but this is local. All of this is local food and wine stories that people are submitting that come out of the city of Chicago. Tell me that's not cool, right? It's all user-generated content, and that user-generated content is what drives my audience. This is how we empower people. We put the power of the press back in the hands of the people where it belongs, but it's the social component is what drives all our audience. Let me stop share right now so I can get back to you guys. So
what's your model for, say, small business owners? Would they have a platform to advertise on this, locally? So I don't know, I'm thinking like local butchers, local farmers, like farm markets.
I'll be right back.
I would think that would be a significant use for this website.
So the great question. You're absolutely correct. And this model is very similar to a Twitter and a Facebook in the sense that they sell ads around user-generated content. They could do it to one zip code and everywhere in between. The content that we carry is a little bit different, but the way our model works is
with the wine market, with the entertainment wine market, that would be a platform like a local business person could utilize. It'd be awesome.
Well, yeah. So here, I'm just going to show you how it works. Remember when I think I showed you before how the zip code things work? So I'll share my screen with you so your audience can see this. It is.
I asked that because we have a few small business owners in the chat. I know that look for advertising and ability to get out.
So here's how this works. I don't care what state you're in. It doesn't matter. If you're in Florida, Georgia, Hawaii, we have every state, right? So I just clicked Florida because I just want you to see it. What it just did was pulled all the zips for the state of Florida. So I don't care if you want to run an article or an ad to the state. This is how it's done. And you click add, and what it does is it assigns the piece of content to all the zip codes in the state, and then you tag it to whatever you want it to run around. It works the same for ads. If you sold your product in the state of Florida and you sold golf clubs, you want to advertise around, golf related content, which is right here. You check golf. Okay. Now, if you want to break it down further, you want to just reach any county. I'll go to Palm Beach. Now it just pulls the Palm Beach County zip codes. Isn't that cool? So I could hit add, in which whatever I'm doing is just going to run to these zip codes. Or I could say, no, I just want one city. So this is the city of Boca Raton. So if it's somebody's Little League game, it's going to go in the sports section for just Boca Raton. That's where it's going to be published. And the cool part, and this is what you were asking me, for advertisers could actually remove zip codes, and they could just run to one if they wanted to. Hell, I could run an ad, Stormy, to one zip code in Boca. Then I could grab California, go to Beverly Hills, and pick a zip code there. It doesn't matter. I could have zip codes, 33409, 91762. It doesn't matter. Then your ad gets assigned and then it pulls. So unlike, let me stop sharing here. So unlike, the traditional media where they don't really cater to the little guy, they cater to the big guy. and you know, the Home Depots of the world trump the Joe's Pizzas of the world. In our business, it works the exact opposite. It's everything is on a best bid basis. So when you open an article, there's only so many ads around the content. And so what it does is it's you can put 12, it's the total number. So it'll say how many advertisers want to appear on this page. There could be 3,000. Well, you're not putting them on there. So what it does is it takes the highest bidder per each spot and it puts them in order based on who's paying the most. It's always the little guy. Because the little guy doesn't care. The national ads are going to be running at a penny. The little guy's going to be paying 10 or 20 cents, depending on how hyper-focused he is, okay? And he doesn't care because what is his bill going to be, 20, 30 bucks a month?
Yeah.
It's petty change.
Yep.
That's my point, is it's this whole platform is built for the little guy. Any questions on that?
There was. People who don't have an app for that be able to read the article. Like Newsbreak, people who don't have the app can't read the article.
Yeah, well, if you don't have an app, I mean, we have an app that we'd use what's called a progressive web app. So you go on your browser and you type in yournews.com and then you can download it to your phone. We did that for a reason. It's because Apple, is it Apple? Yeah, Apple wouldn't let us. They said the content on your site contradicted Fauci. So they wouldn't allow us on there. So we just made a conscious effort. We don't want an app. We want a progressive web app. Now we control it. So if they make changes, we don't have to make changes because we don't even participate in their world. We can give a rat's ass. So
all you have to do is go on Safari and you can pull up the article.
So yeah, I'm on, well, yes, you go on Safari for your phone. You can type in yournews.com and there is, if you guys have a phone, go to yournews.com and you'll see at the bottom, it'll say install. So you could actually download our app from your phone if you want to.
Mm-hmm.
That's really cool.
You see it?
Oh, yeah.
We also have a barcode at the bottom of the site, which is you could just, what do? You scan it and it'll automatically put it to your phone. I'm talking on the desktop. We have that.
Yeah.
It's at the bottom.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Mine's installed.
Isn't that easy?
And what's funny is that my VPN's over in Seattle right now, and so it's pulling up Seattle news.
That's okay. Change your location. You're good,
Yeah.
right? I mean, so you click change your location and you could do whatever you want. You could move anywhere you want in the country. But look, people are interested in the local news around them. You know, for the most part, you don't really care what's happening around my market, right? You want to know what's happening around your market. So the significance of this whole thing is, you know, not only are we putting the power to press back in the people, but the real thing is what we want to do is control the news content to make sure that the people are getting the proper information. And what we've done is create a platform where all these out of work news reporters and all the people that want to become citizen journalists will be able to be monetized and make money off of it. And like I always tell people, you heard me say it, you know, if all of us, built a football stadium, I don't think there's anybody on this stage that could play in the NFL, but we don't have to. We're in the stadium business, not in the football business. So we bring in the football players, which are the draw, and then we go sell them the tickets and all the concessions when they come inside. I am not in the news business. We are in the platform business. That's what we're in. And so we bring on the players like you guys because you're the draw, right? And so people come because they want to watch and advertisers want to reach them and you share in the ad revenue. It can't get any simpler than that.
That's perfect. It's basic and really, if you think about it, it's pretty basic idea, but putting that idea to, to the plate and getting it off the ground is quite an accomplishment.
Thank you. Well, yeah, it's taken a long time to figure it out. Everything I'm telling you is all based on all the failures that I've done to get here. So now when I tell you, you're like, well, that makes logical sense. Well, I wish I would have figured it out before, right? It took a long time to get here. But now from here, it's the next step is how do you scale this? And how do you take those 500,000 people on LinkedIn that are looking for work and bring them over here? And then what is the cost going to be to that? Because you're talking, guys, this is a beta site. what's going to end up happening is if I were to move 500,000 people over here, first of all, you think you guys could approve 500,000 articles? Not even a remote possibility. Okay. You couldn't approve 5,000, let alone 500,000.
You're going to have to use some sort of AI to.
Yeah. So I've already been talking about it. So we could designate AI by markets, and all I have to do is make sure it's putting the content in the proper categories. Okay. So the AI could read the story, and it could make a decision. This is entertainment, sports, politics, business, and it could put it there. So that eliminates people, but we need a platform that is going to be able to handle, all you got to do is the math. If you had 10,000 contributors and the average article got read by 500 people and 10,000 were contributors contributed, your traffic is what? 5 million for the day. Okay.
Yeah.
You need a platform that could handle, and by the way, you haven't even begun because you're looking at literally hundreds of thousands. I'm guessing you'll probably need, just for news reporters across the United States, 5 people a city. There's 20,000 cities roughly. There's 100,000. Okay. And because you have all these different categories, like you could report on, home and garden or sports or food and wine or, whatever, horse racing if you wanted to. It doesn't really matter. But then you're going to have all the users. I'm talking about people that have something, I'm selling my bicycle, or, I got an opinion, or, a nonprofit. I'm having a charity event, a church that's having a bake sale. They're all posting all this stuff, and it's driving more eyeballs to the site, which in turn attracts more ad revenue. And then you'll have advertisers that will have the ability to be able to log in and buy their own ads. So part of this is getting geared up for what's about to come, because the marketplace in this market is desperately needed. People are looking for the truth. That's what they want. And the good news is the people that are spewing crap, nobody's going to read their stuff, and they're going to go away on their own. If nobody likes your content, nobody's going to read it. You're not going to make any money. I had a couple of journalists out of Montana, and I had one woman, Leslie, God, in like a 3-month time frame, I bet you I sent her 6,000 or 7,000. Okay. And she asked if her roommate could get involved. She was a writer too, but she was more liberal. And I don't think in about a 4 or 5 month time frame, I sent her more than $50. Okay. It's because, and she even called me. She's like, I don't know what it is. I go, well, the problem is, look at the audience we have. We have hundreds of thousands of patriots on the site. And you're telling them the Proud Boys are no good. What do you think's going to happen? They have no interest in you. Okay. I don't even know what to say. I don't even know why you even came up with that conclusion. But, the people will be eliminated. She has to go, talk in an echo chamber where there's hardly anybody to listen to her. So this is ultimately.
And CNN's not hiring. Sorry.
That's my point. So going back to saving the republic, what I do, if it's not a civil war, then it's an information war. Agreed? Whoever controls the next mass media is the one that's going to win the war. Hello? I'm it. The end. So, going back to what we're doing, this platform has the ability to be the next tech giant. Okay. It does. This is Google big. Okay. This is Facebook big. This is Twitter big. It's big. Okay. And not only that, you're replacing an industry, guys. Do you have any idea the value of that? Okay. By the time I move those 500,000 people over to me here on your news, the traffic is through the roof. You are by far the largest news organization in the world. And that is Associated Press with about 3,000 news reporters. I'll surpass that in the first freaking month. Okay. Yeah. So
go ahead.
No,
I
want
what you're saying. I was just going to ask. So how do you give a 2-sided story when the majority of people are, because what you want to do is you want to bring everybody over to your media. You want, from like far right to far left, you want honestly the competition on there. You want to see that, because if you're going to get the market, you don't only want one side of the market, you want all of the market. So how do you do a more liberal leaning or moderate or whatever, because not everybody has the same thoughts. Why would you? I don't think you would want to really exclude the moderates and or even the liberals. I would have a separate, this is all bullshit. Here, go ahead and
Here's the
post.
fake news portion for you guys.
Yeah, here, just have a whole tab that says fake news if you want to read it.
All right, so let me be clear. I'm not interested in censoring the left. I'm interested in creating a fair and balanced media company where both sides could be heard, and you let the public decide. Now,
You can read
that
what you
sounds
want, right?
well. You read what you want. You formulate your own conclusion. I don't think anything far right or far left is going to fly. Okay, so it's got to be center right, center left. But what I have learned is that the left doesn't like to participate where content happens to be in the other direction.
Correct.
And the only conclusion I can form with that is that, this side makes logical sense, and this is just they're trying to push crap down your throat, and they don't want their content to be around that. And by the way, it's the exact same reason they got rid of Ronna McDaniel from The View. It's because The View is telling its audience, here's what you need to believe. Even if it didn't make sense, Whoopi Goldberg's going to say, look, I know it's hard to believe, but you have to believe he's an evil man, even though he's really good to everybody. Okay, you have to believe it's all fake. And then you have somebody else get up there and say, well, what about this? What about that? And they go, well, that makes sense. Get that bitch off our show. Okay, that's exactly how it went down. We're trying to confuse these people. You're giving them common sense. So I don't really I see some of it happening. I see some of the middle left maybe coming, I hope, because I really believe that I think you need both sides. I just don't think you should have an echo chamber of everybody saying the same thing.
Yeah, that's the one thing that I'm all about. I'm all about perspective and seeing everybody's perspective. I don't care if they're, really, I'll listen, but it doesn't mean I'm gonna, buy in. But I am a fence sitter as far as on between Republican and Democrat, because I want to be able to see both sides so I can make a valid decision. I don't think if you don't have all the information that you can possibly get, I don't think you can make an appropriate decision on something.
I agree. Though the platform will always be free speech platform. I want both sides to be heard as long as they play right. That's all. If you're flat out lying to people, you got to go.
Yeah. Oh, sure. Yeah. That's where, I'll go after people for that. I truly do all the time, but if you're lying, it's not right. That's why, we tell people when we're doing like we're digging live, like we did last week twice. We're just giving them our perspective and seeing how we see it. We don't know if that's the truth or not. And they know that we will tell them that, hey, this is speculation. This is the only thing we can give you because we don't know if this is absolute truth. That's one thing that I think that we all pride ourselves in, is not giving somebody a bunch of, animal feces to eat.
Or eat bugs. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sam, do you want to get into the crowdfunding part real quick?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
So, my background is, the money raising, capital raising, investment banking. I've been doing it forever. And, if you ever noticed, all the tech giants came out of Silicon Valley, right? Facebook, Twitter, Amazon, Netflix, Uber, they all get funded by Silicon Valley. And the way it works is, have you guys ever participated in a private placement before? No. So the way things start is there has to be a private company before it goes public. And they have a thing they do called a private placement, where in the early days they raise capital. And companies like Silicon Valley have extreme high net worth and institutional players that have big money that fund these things. And they bring in the proper management teams to scale these businesses. And then ultimately, once they get them to the public, we could all jump in. And now you could buy shares in Amazon or whatever it is. But keep in mind, somebody bought, shares in Facebook at like $1 or $2 at one point down the road, before they actually went all the way up. And so those people have the ability, they've already made billions of dollars. I'm talking about all the shares collectively. They've already made billions before it even, went public. Nobody ever calls you or the regular person to participate in that. And the rule is you have to be an accredited investor, which means that it eliminates 99% of the population. So the population that gets to play is 1%. So when I was at the Reawaken America tour in Miami one year, there was about 5,000 people that paid money to come into the event to see General Flynn and, Laura Loomer and, all the people at the Reawaken America tour. And I looked around, I'm like, wow. I mean, I was blown away at how many people actually showed up. Okay. And I'm like, well, these are my people. I mean, these are the people that are passionate about the cause. They're the people, they're the little guys that are disgusted with what's going on in America. And technically, these should be the people that own my product, because as I told you guys before, we position ourselves as a news organization that's by the people for the people. That's how we position ourselves. And so if we're a news organization that's by the people for the people, shouldn't the people actually own the product, right? So, it shouldn't be institutional players. It shouldn't be hedge funds that are involved in this, that basically take all the stock and they make all the money while isn't that the reason we're in the problem we're in today? I mean, do you guys remember seeing the Sinclair Broadcasting videos where they had the 30 TVs all saying the same thing at the same time? That's called centralized news, where it comes from one source. So the whole premise of my product is to completely decentralize the news business and democratize it. Keep in mind, we don't check for validity for news. We feel like if you're an actual real news reporter, you should have enough integrity to do this shit yourself and be able to, fact check yourself before you're taking this stuff live. But if somebody's lying, the public's going to let you know. And if we look into it, maybe you made a mistake, fine. But if you're blatantly lying, we'll just get rid of you. So what I decided to do was to do something called an equity crowdfund. And an equity crowdfund is not like GiveSendGo or GoFundMe, where you're donating money because somebody needs an operation or something like that. This is an actual brokerage firm that you have to go through background checks, audits, everything else before they will even participate with you. They have to do all the checks to make sure that there's nothing that's going to come back and bite them in the ass. So that's why they go through all this due diligence. So now you could go out and raise the capital. But the way equity crowdfunds work is anybody can participate. Excuse me, anybody, which is the brilliance behind this. Because now most people will never be able to get involved in a Facebook or a Twitter. There are a couple of hedge funds that I have that I personally know that I know are going to participate with us at some point. Okay. And I would rather get 5,000 people to give me $1,000. That's just my $5 million offering, than one guy to give me 5 million, because who am I beholden to at that point?
Yep.
I'm the one guy. And now what did you just do? You're the same damn mistake they made before. Okay. So what we wanted to do is distribute the stock to the people. And here's the cool part. It's basically, we're bypassing the Silicon Valleys of the world. We're going directly to the public, so the public can make an investment in this. I will tell you, we're going to do another round, and I'm going to have to bring in institutional players, because raising 75 or 100 million is kind of a bitch on a crowdfund. It's a lot more money, but we do have some players that could do that. So we're still going to do part of it as a crowdfund, with part of it as the as the institutional players, because you're going to have to. There's too much money that we're going to raise for this. But what's going to happen is the little guy's going to make all the money, because we're already in the next 12 months. Our plan is to take the company public. I've already hired a guy that's taken 17 companies public over the last 7 or 8 years. Okay. He does this for a living. And the only way he gets paid is if we do that. So we're going to get to that point at some point. Plus, it's my personal opinion on being public. I'm not a fan of it because I don't like regulation, but I think it's a way to save this, because I think once we start really getting big, you're going to have a lot of people that are submitting content that, it could be somebody that used to work for some politician, that has that has documents that shows their money laundering. I mean, anybody on this panel here think that all the money's going to Ukraine?
No.
No,
Okay.
we know different.
Talk about money laundering.
We dive deep. We dive deep into this stuff. I mean,
Okay,
really
so
deep.
here's what's going to happen. There's no possible way that one person could pull that off. It's got to be a multiple people that are moving money, and right. So at some point in time, somebody's going to get real pissed off at somebody, and that document's going to be leaked to us. They're not going to leak it to CNN or MSNBC or ABC or Fox, because not only are they not going to run it, they're going to bring it to the feds, and the feds are going to go kick in their door. So they're going to bring it to us. We'll have somebody fact check it. If it's real, we're going to run the story. That's the reason. Okay. So I think that, what does this say? No. And now Ukraine has robot dogs for war. Right. So, and where do they get those robot dogs? So, what we do is desperately needed, and the protection is going to be the public thing, because they shut down Parler. But I could assure you guys, if you had 30 million people or 10 million people as shareholders, nobody's shutting it down.
Yeah.
Not going to happen. Sorry.
What about, like, do you think if the FCC doesn't get a good kick in the ass when Trump gets back in, I mean, do you think there's going to be serious problems with trying to go huge, with going public with this? No, I don't think anybody's ever going to see us coming. I mean, there's not really anything to see. 99% of my news is local content somewhere. Sure. So, that's when people tell me. But that's what I was saying. But let's just say your scenario that you just threw out there with the staffer that has all this information, and they come out with it. Do you think the FCC would just shut the website down? Well, the FCC is not in control of the internet, right? True. Okay, so no, I don't. They're not going to shut this down, and especially if it's a public company, you're not going to shut it down. I mean, they're going to come knocking on my door. I'm covered under Section 230. It's not my content; it's somebody else's content. I'm just the host of the content, just like Facebook and Twitter. So I fall under those rules. We don't say that it's real or not. We say, here's the information we have. Here's the person who wrote it. Check with them. And, find out if it's real or not. But, we're just a platform at the end of the day. And we do news, of which the bulk, 99% is local news. And that's the other issue, because people tell me, well, is Google or Facebook not going to run? No, they're going to run it because they have to. Because when you have 100,000 submission and 99,900 of them, or 99,000 of them are local news stories, they want that stuff. Okay, so that stuff's all going out on social media. They're just not going to want the stuff that doesn't fit their agenda. And ask me if I give a rat's ass. I don't. Well, see, I'm just asking I'm one of the like people that I want to know, like, ask the whatever, the hypothetical questions. What if this happens? What if that happens? That's me. Sure. I always look, because I'm like, I do a lot of game theory and looking at all sorts of situations, and for the people that that want to be a part of this, and then possibly give up their day job to do this, that they have a secure network to do it on. You mean you talk about being a news reporter? Yeah. Well, the people that want to be news reporters, that's up to them. They, just like somebody wants to become a YouTuber and be, have their own YouTube channel, that's up to them. I mean, I'm all we provide is the platform for you guys for freedom of speech. That's the most important thing, right? And then from there, it's up to them to sink or swim, just like on YouTube. There's no difference.
So do you have any content that you would remove? So say someone applied to be a citizen journalist. Is there any content that you would remove from the platform, like what YouTube has done or whatever? Hate speech, not necessary, right? Okay. Certainly flat out lies, not necessary. Okay. Once we find out somebody lies, because the public will tell you. I'm going to give you a funny story, guys. In North Palm Beach, Florida, I'm going to tell you how this works, because this was so funny. They were, every single Little League game, they were publishing the results, of the Little League game with photos and all this stuff. And one time somebody submitted the story, and remember, these are like 10-year-olds. Okay. So they submitted the article, but whoever did it lied and said it was the Jaguars that beat the Cougars instead of the Cougars that beat the Jaguars, or whatever the team was. Right. And we got inundated with emails. That's not true. This is not the way it played. And so, and it was a sports news in North Palm Beach, Florida. Okay. That's all it was. But what happens is those stories get shared, and, then the public reacts.
This is a microcosm of the United States, which was really cool. So if somebody's putting out a bad story on a national level, believe me, we're going to get inundated with stuff, and then somebody will reach out to that person. And if it's not an accurate story, we just want to know, look, did you make a mistake, or is this intentional?
Yeah.
That's it. Because
fact checking, right?
well, that the public does the fact checking. I don't have to.
Real fact checking. Yeah.
It's real fact checking, right? I don't need, these fact checker websites to come up with their crap, right? We just let the public let us know. So I'm not here to tell you you're right or wrong. How could I possibly know what happened at the city council meeting in Omaha, Nebraska? I can't. But the people that were there do.
Mm-hmm.
This is all about the public policing the content. That's it.
Yeah. I mean,
And they will do a better job than anybody else. Because I don't know why, because they were there.
Yeah, we definitely need the citizens to be doing the fact checking, not some company that's paid by George Soros or whoever it may be.
It's all a joke. Okay, it's all a joke.
Swoops or whatever it's called.
Yeah.
Snopes. Yeah.
Nopes.
Yeah.
Where
I mean, it's garbage. You can put absolute facts in there. It'll tell you that it's fake.
Yeah, exactly.
But that's what I was wondering. Where's the muscle come in case, like, somebody tries to sue you or muscle you up for defamation, even though it's not real, just to shut you up? How you protect
You're a journalist.
The lawyer will say we're covered under section 230. It's not our content. It's Bob Smith's who wrote the story. Go after him.
So the individual, right?
Oh, yeah. You're responsible for your own crap. We're
Yeah.
just publishing it.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're not the creators of the content. Again, we're the platform.
Yeah.
That's a good safety mechanism too. I mean, for you guys and it holds them accountable. There's that line of accountability that I think that this country truly needs.
Exactly. So the platform is not responsible. Neither is Twitter and neither is Facebook. But you're always going to have people go after you for something. You want to know something? By the time that happens, we already won.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
We're already a 10,000-pound gorilla. So yeah, I only can hope that happens.
Yeah.
But it'll be shut down for one simple reason, because we didn't do it. We're covered under section 230. And if it's inaccurate content, then we need to remove it.
Yep.
And I don't really have a problem with that.
I was telling Honeybee goodnight. She's one of our faithful, has been here since the beginning.
Yeah. So so we decided to do the equity crowdfund, which means the public can participate and they could buy stock for as little as $200 and anywhere in between. It's just really, I want to mass crowdfund this and get thousands of little guys to put money in, because at the end of the day, I think the people should own this product, not the institutional players. That's the reason why. So we do have an equity crowdfund page, which I don't know if you guys could put up or if you want me to do it, or if you
Just drop it up
right
in
now.
the chat.
Comment.
Is it not in there?
I got it.
I guess it's
I got it.
okay.
I put it in the chat. And I'm gonna put it in the comments on the show so it stays.
Oh, well, the chat you're putting it on is different than what I'm seeing.
Oh,
Right.
you're seeing
I'm seeing StreamYard.
feed.
Yeah, I'm not on the Rumble page, but yes,
Okay, right.
issuanceexpress.com. And by the way, the name of the company, we have a holding company called Nico Ventures. And the reason we did that, everybody knows Fox News, but it's really owned by News Corp. And News Corp owns a bunch of different media properties. Don't ask me how many, but it's probably more than 10. Okay. And Nico Ventures is the holding company that owns Your News. There's a reason we set this up. It's because ultimately our platform is a roll-up model. So roll-up meaning we're going to acquire other digital properties that are synergistic. Everybody knows that a newspaper, there's a sports editor and a business editor and a politics editor, for each lifestyle editor. So the plan is for us to take a guy that has, a horse racing website. I don't know anything about horse racing news, but he knows everything about it. So you acquire him, bring him under your umbrella, and make him the editor-in-chief for that vertical. And what you just did was you took all his revenues, which now flow under Nico Ventures because it's owned by, Nico Ventures and Your News. You're taking all his traffic, driving it to the horse racing page, creates more value for the platform. and you give him the ability for more scale to be able to attract a different advertiser base that wants to target locally in these markets with different ads, and the ability for a bigger exit because the whole is worth more than the parts. I could do that 30 times over.
So is this like it would be like, I was just going to talk to you about this, an acquisition company.
Yeah.
You know, so, you know, I know it's fact that, you know, there's 2 executive orders that Trump did sign, and they're still going to this day, which is our serious human rights abuse and corruption was Executive Order 13818, and then foreign interference in an election, it was 13848, and they have seized the. I honestly believe they've seized everything, and it's just a slow get rid of it type of a thing. Like, you know, Elon Musk did not purchase Twitter. I do not believe that. I believe he acquired under a DoD contract. Truly. So, I mean, that might be a brain buster for you to chew down, but
I never heard that before. I certainly know he could afford it.
well, I don't think you'd have to, especially when you hand it to the right person and they have a very, very big left-leaning audience, and you start throwing stuff out. I mean, I've seen people flip-flop from being a straight liberal to more conservative after he purchased it and then the Twitter files came out. Who else is going to release that? I mean, you have to be made to release that. You're not going to get anybody just to start tearing the left down like they did, you know, willingly.
So you think that this was basically handed to Musk specifically to do?
Yep, I truly believe so. I mean, I've done so much research on this. I have terabytes of cataloged information. I mean, that's what I do is research mainly.
Okay.
And there's I don't know, just a lot of stuff that goes into it. I mean, I didn't mean to throw a monkey or a wrench in your.
No. I never heard that before. I figured the 46 billion he paid for it, he just wrote a check, and
I think that 46 billion was given to him through the DoD to keep everybody from mass hysteria, like it got seized by the government, and to pay off the shareholders.
So he got it for free?
I believe so. He acquired it.
Well, that's one hell of a business deal. He's better than
I
Trump.
think it's a side job. It's a side job.
It's a side job. I think so. You know, because he is the biggest DoD contractor out there, and I think it makes perfect sense for Elon to do it because he is a sharp individual that understands. I mean, look what Trump did. He infiltrated the Democrats for how many years? I mean, I believe that, you know, this is a very, if you read those 2 executive orders, you'll see what I'm talking about.
Okay. Well, yeah,
I'll text them to you.
Anything could be possible, right? I mean, you know,
but I mean, this is a perfect time to, you know, to acquire or to buy up, seize property and or businesses. I firmly believe I don't think
you're talking about my roll-up model. Yeah.
Do what?
Did you talk about the roll-up model we're doing? Is that what you mean?
No, to purchase other news entities and their equipment and whatever else, and then actually take this stuff broadcast, you know, versus just on the internet. You know, buying these small little news organizations.
You think that's a good idea with everything going to web?
I do believe that there still is a place for actual live news. I mean, I truly believe it. You know, that you
guys are doing it now.
We are, but we are doing more. We are doing more of a national type of a thing. We don't. I mean, we will touch on some local type of stuff that, you know, like here in Idaho, they have you know, this cloud seeding bill was 266 done in 2021 that says that they're going to be gaining all this water and they're never going to have to shut the water off. And now all the Southern Idaho farmers, they've shut their water off. They have no way to feed their cows. So that's a big problem. I mean, it's all over Twitter right now. And I've been in Ron Mendive's ass for the past 3 years over this, because he will not give me how many ever FOIA requests I put in. he will not give me the MSDS sheets of what's going on and or an annual report on the from the Conservation and Resource Committee.
It's amazing.
These are big things. I mean, you know, the whole local action national impact is straight up a very, very good method. And
Yeah,
you know,
that's
and
why I
get
think
in front
this
of the education system.
Yeah, that's why this news piece is so important for someone to get actual real news from citizen journalists. It's
Sure.
significant.
Yep.
I mean, you know, people could broadcast local news on our platform just to a specific area. I mean, it's not that
Sure.
hard. We could run it to the Chicago market or the Phoenix market or whatever you are. So, I mean, you could, you know, do both, you know, written, audio, and video. We take them all. We take it all.
Yeah.
And so, yeah,
that's something I've been thinking about doing is local. I was going to say this earlier when we were talking earlier, that I've been thinking about taking my, you know, phone and gimbal and go out and start talking to people and just getting a feeling. You know, this area where I live, they've actually have started to criminalize homelessness, which is absolutely BS in my book, because I know a lot of these people have just fallen on hard times, like so many people, and they don't choose to be homeless. They still have jobs and they live in a camper or whatever on the side of the road, and then they get their stuff tagged and tickets, and it makes a bad problem even worse. And you know, that's something I would write articles and do video on.
all you got to do is just fill out that citizen journalist application, and you know, you'll be approved in, you know, minutes, right? And then you'll get instructions on how to use it, but you could become a news reporter immediately.
Sam,
So
there
I
was
got
a question.
my leg.
How does the crowdfunding work? It's not like Angel Studios. It's much different. You want to speak to that?
Well, I think it's identical. I mean, you know, the people put in the money because they're buying stock in the Angel Studios, which is producing a movie, but they're doing it for probably the one movie. And then based on the profits from that is what they get. In our case, they're buying stock in the company. And so when the company goes public, their shares they'll be able to sell their stock. I think there's a 12-month hold from the time of purchase, which this thing just was launched. So it's just in the process of getting rolling. So it's identical to Angel Studios. You know, we're just doing it for, you know, a different product, but at the end of the day, you know, we're doing the crowd fundraise, but ultimately, as I said, you know, I want to make sure this is a publicly traded company because there's a lot of things I need to do and it has to be public. So I've already had that ball set in motion. Now it's just a matter of, we just started this initial crowdfund, and my guess is it'll, over the next 3 or 4 weeks, it'll start to pick up momentum. You know, I have people, you know, that are out there talking to people and making investments, and, you know, they're bringing more people. And, you know, Mark Fincham from Arizona just, you know, told me to meet up with a friend of his when he gets to Florida. So I'll be meeting with him. And, you know, then you get bigger players that are going to come in and put in bigger money. It's just how it works. And we'll be on a show. I'll be doing, you know, the SGT report, and he's got a lot of people, and you never know who's going to hear it. Right. I have another podcaster that's working on bringing me a big player that's one of the big donors for Turning Point. I mean, you know, billionaires. So these are people that have the resources that are really trying to make a difference with their money to fix this mess that we're in. And so what I am is a key component to fixing the mess.
It's awesome.
Yep.
Most important thing.
I'm jazzed about this.
I know you are. Listen, I'm glad. Okay. Because
Yep.
we need a lot of people out there that are, you know, pulling at our end of the rope. This, like I said, what I do is inevitable. If it is not me, it's going to be George Soros. You do not want that.
No.
You do not want that. So you want somebody like me who, you know, my whole value system is, look, just put the truth out. I don't care who it's on. You know, it doesn't matter. If you've got documents show Trump committed crimes when he was in office, we'll print them. Why not? If it's real, I think everybody should know, right?
Yeah.
I mean,
go ahead. Sorry.
That's how it should be. It's just, you know, we're supposed to, the news is supposed to put out the truth, but somehow, as the billionaires got control of it, they decided to tell you what the truth was. And they, you know, and, you know, things they wanted to hide or suppress, they did. And that's why we're in the mess we're in today. All I'm saying is they're going away, and what we do will replace it. And it's going to be sheer numbers of all the journalists out there that are reporting the news. You know, guys, I'm going to tell you another story. I have people that I speak with. I have a lot of people that I have conversations with, and a lot of them are already journalists. They work for newspapers, and they were telling me stories about, you know, one woman was an investigative journalist, and she said, I have integrity. If I'm putting out a story, it's 100% factual. And the newspaper I work for won't even give me an answer as to why they're not going to run it. They just don't do it. And this is stuff that needs to get out. She says, here's what I need to know. Are you going to run the story? Well, of course. She goes, that's all I need to know. Maybe it's somebody's cousin. Maybe it's a big advertiser. Maybe it's the car dealer that's spending a lot of money. I don't know what the answer is to why you're not going to run something. But in this case, that's not going to happen on our platform because we don't have control over that.
Yeah.
You see what I mean? The person in Sarasota, Florida doesn't care what I think about her story. And you know, she's running it whether I'm around or not. She doesn't even need to talk to me. It's going to be run because there is no editorial board to review it. The public is going to decide if this story is accurate or not. They're going to let us know if it's not. And that's the most important piece. That's where we're all, this is why I'm saying this is a freaking nightmare for politicians because nobody's protecting them anymore.
It's putting the power back in the people where it should be.
That's all I'm saying.
It's fantastic.
Right. Yeah. This is why the people need to own the damn thing.
Yep. I agree. So before I forget, can you put all your socials in our private chat here so I can share them out?
Yeah, you mean like my my email? Because I want people to
Okay, I can do that.
Yeah,
whatever we want to give out. I just don't want I just don't want this to go by the wayside. I want people to be able to have, you know, ways to contact and
I definitely want to invest in this. Absolutely.
Yeah. So here's that's my work line email. So if somebody's interested in making an investment and they have questions, maybe they have bigger money and they want to understand more. I don't know, because somebody could spend $200 or $300 if they want to, $500, $1,000. I'm open to talk to anybody. It doesn't really matter. Somebody wants to be a citizen journalist. Just go to the bottom of the page of Your News and click Become a Citizen Journalist. Somebody's an advertiser, just call me. I'll tell you what it is. It's very inexpensive to run ads. It's not even a lot of money. If you're running a hyper local ad, I'd be shocked if you spent more than $40 or $50 in any given, quarter. If it's zip codes, if it's a broader distribution, yes. I mean, I've seen people, spend a lot of money, like $3,000, $4,000 a month on national ads, but it's anything that, you guys want that will help us to get to the finish line. We'll take it. Call us, send me an email. We'll have a conversation and, we'll find out. Hopefully we'll answer all your questions.
Do you want me to put your number in the chat too?
Yeah, sure. Put the number in the chat and put the equity crowdfund in there as well if you didn't do it already. Do you guys see my video on the equity? If you guys open the link on the equity crowdfund?
I have not had a chance yet.
So about a third of the way down is a video I'm speaking. So I just explain, how this works. It's 3 minutes. If you like what you hear, you click invest and you fill out the form and you put in your credit card or do an ACH, whatever it is. And it's somebody I was talking to the other day did it on their phone.
Awesome.
They were doing it on their phone. That's how easy it is. So it's just like filling out their name, your address. It's because you're buying stock. I think you got to put in your social security number. It's all reported. That's all. But no different than if you were going to, a brokerage firm and buying stock.
Yeah,
you just
like Edward Jones or a JP.
Yeah, it's the same thing, and then we'll take your money. And the next step is to build a business from it, scale it. We're going first step is, I want to put in tech in place. And we want to do the next one on the blockchain so it becomes impenetrable, because I have a feeling we'll be a massive target. And
you said blockchain.
Yeah, the blockchain.
Yeah, I love
blockchain.
And is that how you say it? Blockchain, right?
No, yeah, you're absolutely right. We've been talking about blockchain, the importance of the ledger, the past few months. Yeah, so
It, you know, I'm not a tech guy, but you know, my tech person tells me that, you know, once we get this in place, it's, you know, virtually impenetrable,
Yep.
and you can't take it down. So, you know, I said, well, we need to do that, and it's actually not that expensive. I'm sure Mike Adams did it for Brighteon with his, and I listened to the guy that he did it with. I'm sure there's a lot of plugins and pieces you could use. So, you know, as things get more advanced, costs come down. So I don't think it'll be that much, but it's imperative to get up. Because, you know, if I were to market to those 500,000 people, I guarantee I'll get 300,000 of them, you know, and who can handle something like that? You know, you need a platform that can handle millions of people a day. The marketplace is here. Everybody wants it. It's just a matter of making sure you're ready for it. That's the big piece. So technology is a massive portion of this.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I truly think that this is the way to go. This is kind of the way I was going, but for researchers and other podcasters. I really truly believe that you have a diamond in the rough.
Definitely. I mean, like I said, what I do is inevitable. It's coming whether you like it or not. Okay, why not capitalize on it?
Yep. Somebody's going to. So that, I mean, you can either have a Patriot news organization, or you can have a Soros funded news organization. What do you want? You pick.
Yep.
Let the market decide.
Yep.
Right. So I can assure you, the more people find out about this that are patriots, I just want them all to make whatever investment they're comfortable with. You know, somebody that makes 200,000 or 300,000 a year is not going to spend $200. If they made 50 times their money, they're going to go, that's like a week's worth of pay for me. I mean, it's not even a lot of money. So, you know, it's all relative to what you earn. But the point is we want to get this in the hands of as many people as possible, literally thousands of them. Yeah. So you guys are helping with that now.
Yeah. And like I told you, I have a lot of friends that podcast, and they have big numbers, and they'll definitely love to have you on.
Jimmy, let's talk about that tomorrow. Okay.
Yeah.
So,
Send me a text whenever you get in the office, and no, I'm West Coast time, so not when you get in the office or whatever, but probably around noon your time.
I'll make a note of it, and then you just call me when you're available, or just, you know, make a note to yourself. Call me when you're available tomorrow, and you know, and we'll talk about it, because this is you know, this is something that's just getting started, and I want to get this wrapped up pretty quick, and then I want to do the next one.
Yeah, perfect.
And any ideas you guys have, you know, I'm all ears.
Okay. Yeah.
All right, guys.
You're doing some amazing stuff,
Perfect.
Sam, man. We appreciate you coming on for sure.
Okay. Hey, look, thanks. That, you know, I'll be happy to come on again. You know, let's just keep this rolling.
Anytime.
And you know, sometimes people need to hear it a few times, but you know, I think this is real important to, you know, to our republic, what we're doing. And since the legacy media is not going to be around, this is a way to capitalize on it and to make sure that we're able to put out the proper information to everybody, whether it's, you know, national or local. That's the most important piece here. So I will let you go with that. Anybody have any questions before I go?
No, I'm good. I think this was this is better than I thought it was going to be. I just think you drug questions out of me that I wasn't even thinking about. So I you know, everybody in the chat's saying thank you, Sam, and
you're welcome.
See that or not, but yeah, I mean, you're more than welcome to come back. I mean, anytime. I mean, we'll further this. I think it's gonna be good, man. I'm all giddy.
Good deal. All right, let's talk tomorrow. Call me when you're up.
Yeah.
All right.
All right. Perfect.
All right, guys.
Have a
Take
nice
it easy.
day.
Yep.
Thank you.
Have a good one. All right. That's exactly what we needed. He's high energy, and I love it.
That's an interesting theory. You're right. He could sell anything to anybody, but I think the meat and potatoes behind what he's developing is significant.
Oh, huge. So I mean,
That was awesome.
This is
It's huge.
You know, we were scheduled for like a 30-hour, you know, at longest hour. We were on there for shoot, what time did I get a hold of you? It was 4 my time. Yeah. So it'd been we've been 2 hours that we're talking, just because it's, to me, I'm invested in this, and I've been in this whole game for a lot of years, and it's just I want to see something that everybody can use, and that was my original idea with my website, and that went down the drain. So I definitely think that we should back this guy and get this out, because this is definitely going to be a barn burner.
But take advantage of it. If anyone in the chat's
Oh, yeah.
interested in writing articles for local news or opinions, as long as you're true to yourself, I think it's a possibility for, I mean, we wouldn't have started Brainstorm if it wasn't for Alphabet saying, start your own podcast, because, we had opinions that didn't really differ from them, but was similar with a little different twist. I mean, if there's anybody in the chat that wants to start a podcast, I mean, you might have 5-10 viewers, whatever. But still that's where we started, 5, 10, 17, 34.
Like
now
2,000.
We're going to a couple hundred, you get better over time. It takes practice.
Yep. I mean,
It's
I
not-
used to
it's
be
not that I don't-
nervous as a puppy shitting tax every show, but
But it's fun.
But
Right.
now it's, I mean, and you get into a comfortability that, just, you'll know what you want to do. I mean, that's,
It's amazing
Sam-
how just over. Go ahead.
I was just going to say, Sam's business model is it's genius. It really is.
flaming hot.
You've already experienced the Soros world, right? That's what we live in now. And I think the world's craving this. I mean,
Well, I was wondering your business development structure. What your brain was thinking as he was talking.
it's incredible. It's incredible. Yeah.
Just his crowdfunding thought, right? If you just crowdfunding from local for if you need a business that that the local area needs, whatever it might be, butcher shop, local farmer that sells local goods. I mean, I don't think a lot of people understand that funding piece.
Yeah, that's
I
intriguing.
think that's me. There's a cricket right outside my window.
Are you hearing mine?
I have one. Is that you too?
I've got one too. Yeah.
Oh my god. Dude, I was thinking about banging on the window. I don't know if it's like sitting on the windowsill or something. It's driving me nuts.
No, I mean, what a great way to keep people honest, right? Like the world honest with the news. I mean,
For
it's
sure.
amazing. How do you beat that? I mean, stomp out evil.
Yeah, I mean, who would lie for a 9 and 10-year-old baseball game?
Right?
I mean, I think it's a good idea, man. What this is going to do is bring a bigger sense of community to the country, that we are all, we all want good in this country, and I just, that's what we try to do, is bring community, and I'm all about it, and I'm going to do whatever I can to help him.
I was thinking the same thing, Granny's. The past couple nights I've been sleeping with the windows open, and cricket's been putting me to sleep pretty much the past week with the windows open. Like, oh.
Yeah, this dude,
I can't go to sleep.
Figure out.
Biden's getting ready to talk.
dude, my cricket's talking to your cricket.
Yeah.
Dude, they're
Long
probably thinking they're
distance.
long distance cricketing. Oh boy. Oh boy. Yeah, it's been driving me nuts for like a while. Like it'll start chirping, and it'll stop. It'll start chirping, it'll stop. It's like, but
I kind of want to put the hammock up outside and go to sleep in it, but we got some skunks running around. My neighbor's been catching them, so I don't want to deal with that.
I think
All right,
That's a
so
terrible
for the
way
rest
to
of
wake
the-
up.
So tomorrow we have CAG
Chad.
going on, right?
Yep.
chat.
Yep.
Which
and then
is
I need to get a hold of Defender and see where she wants to come in at. So
okay. And I think Safety RN wants to come on sometime. I'm going to touch base for her tomorrow. I think she said something about the 21st, which is
okay.
Wednesday.
And then
And that's about the nutrition. Now, if she's going to come on and talk about nutrition, I want everyone to watch Tucker Carlson's interview on the pharmaceutical whistleblowers before that show Wednesday, because that's significant. I literally took that and texted to my wife and kids. I said, if there's anything that I ask you to do that you do, please watch this in the next 24, 48 hours and let me know.
Yeah.
And they've had all kinds of questions with, they were talking about Ozempic trying to be pushed to where it's free for everyone 12 and up for obesity.
dude, and that was $1,600 a vial just a few months ago. About 6 months ago. $1,600 a vial.
So imagine your tax money going to pay for it. I mean, the COVID shots that were free wasn't cheap. That was billions of dollars that went to the pharmaceuticals. It was free to you, supposedly, but what it came out of our taxes.
Yep.
Is that their new way? Is that their new way to make it free, but just have the government pay it in your taxes?
They'll be buying people donuts here before too long to get skinny.
Yeah.
You just watch.
Because you're going to be skin and bones.
Well, it's going to be Ozempic. I mean, that's the way it is. When's Joe speaking?
Yeah. Supposedly he's supposed to speak at 11
Eastern. So we got now 30 minutes.
Yeah, another 24 minutes. You guys want to play it?
Sure.
I have stuff I have to do. Yeah, I have stuff I got to do, but I'll keep my stuff up. But I got a few things to do, and I can come back on when it starts. If you like.
Okay, we can flip over to the DNC if you guys want, because I'm gonna stay up and watch it. I have an early meeting in the morning, but we'll be all right.
We might as well, right?
Remove me. We can just remove me. I'll stay on. I'll keep my stuff up and going. But
I'll just throw a DNC up, and we can just sit back and watch it. Wait for him to come on. If anyone wants to watch Biden live, hit that thumbs up and chat. If not, we'll just end it, and I'll listen to Biden with my eyes closed. Hit that thumbs up. So
it might be best with a support team to watch him.
Right.
It might be. Wow, my comment didn't even come up.
Everyone looks like they're a mask. Right. I don't get it.
I know he didn't even look real, did he?
No.
All right, guys, I'm gonna remove myself.
Yep, I'm gonna go use the restroom.
Able to see the signs when they are going
I'll
up
be right
and
back
enforcing what all
Okay.
of the different speakers have been saying. And we're
Intermission,
also watching
people.
the different generations here with Congresswoman Crockett, part of the younger, very social media savvy members of the Democratic Party. And of course, we know this night will build toward President Biden, an elder statesman who will finally embrace that transition candidate that he said at one point he thought he might be. And tonight he does become that. The emotions of this party have been on a wild ride for several months, from the period where we saw that there was real worry and concern in the party, and then this change that's now been embraced. And tonight, part of what we're seeing is the nostalgia of coming back to Hillary Clinton, who was trying to make the case against Donald Trump in a revised and renewed way post-2016. And we've been hearing from some of the friends of President Biden. We also know that behind the scenes, he has been visiting some of his longest supporters from Delaware who flew in for tonight. He's been meeting privately with some of the leadership of the Democratic National Convention as this party will build toward him. Nostalgia for sure, respect, and a transition to go forward by first acknowledging Joe Biden's contributions, his life story, and the decision he made, fateful for him and certainly for his party, to make a change at a time when so many in the country said they wanted to see change, and when there is so much at stake. He will talk about defending democracy in 2020 and that it can be done again. He will link his policies to his vice president, and he will make the case that she is the right person to go forward, along with Tim Walz, governor of Minnesota, who we've been watching, enjoying this night. He had made the rounds today to the various caucuses. Also, Douglas Emhoff, of course, husband of Kamala Harris, and his two children have been here. So we've seen a sense of the family. We've seen a sense of the emotion, the energy, and the hopes of the Democratic Party on this first night, when it has been some of its most prominent figures, and an emotional send-off that will come tonight for Joe Biden as he embraces this crowd, feels the emotion that we know is building, and tells his story at least one more time before his own party. So, Lester, that's what we're seeing from this room, where you get a sense of how Democrats are coming together, and the emotion they're feeling is pushing toward the pinnacle of tonight, which is President Joe Biden. Lester?
Yeah, Kelly, thanks. You mentioned Tim Walz. Our friend Jacob Soboroff got to get a few questions into the Minnesota governor and vice presidential candidate. Jacob joining us off on the floor. What did he tell you?
Lester, good evening. Governor Walz is sitting on what would basically be the half-court line.
So I've been watching off of the side, and I saw Kamala Harris come up on the stage a couple times as like a, I don't know what you would call it, like a MC. I think I've seen her twice. And I read a little bit of what Hillary said, and she was talking about some old laws and how I gotta go back and watch Hillary, because it sounded like she was absolutely embarrassing. Just to be honest, if you guys didn't catch it.
No, it's a privilege. It's an honor, and I can tell you this ticket, feeling that energy, just a privilege.
I'll leave you alone, but you were in Aliquippa, Pennsylvania over the weekend. You feel like you guys are going to take Pennsylvania?
Absolutely. I said the energy out there, and to be with those high school kids, to see what that
Be
means.
with the high school
Exciting.
kids? You
Governor, thank you very much. Nice to talk to you.
Get out of
Nice to
here.
see you as well. Lester, you heard Governor Walz there say tonight's a night to honor President Joe Biden, the President of the United States, as he passes the torch to Vice President Kamala Harris, and potentially himself, as I asked him, maybe the next Vice President of the United States. It is a personal, it's an intimate moment, and that's just a little bit of a window into what he's experiencing tonight, Lester.
Jacob Soboroff, thanks very much. And right now, the subject of reproductive rights, something that Democrats thought would be a strength even under Joe Biden, certainly as they continue forward. Hallie, let me get your thoughts on where they're positioning that now as part of the overall theme we're looking at tonight.
Front and center, because it is one of the issues in which Vice President Harris outperforms former President.
Sorry, if you're on YouTube and if you're on Twitch, I'm going to switch over just to X and Rumble. So YouTube and Twitch, good night. Love you guys.
About pregnancies, about what abortion access means to them, and about how important the issue of reproductive rights is. What's so part of what is at play here at the